Imagine for a moment a button, a simple red button on the wall of your home. If you press this button, something miraculous happens. Instantly, every problem in your life is solved. Do you have debt? Gone. Are you heartbroken? Healed. Are you anxious about your career, your health, or the state of the world? It all vanishes. If you press this button, you will never feel physical pain again. You will never feel hunger, cold, or fear. You will never face rejection. You will never fail. Your life will become a smooth, endless line of comfort and safety. Every meal is delicious. Every interaction is pleasant. Every day is guaranteed to be perfect. Now be honest with yourself. Would you press it? Your instinct might scream yes. After all, isn't that what we are all chasing? Isn't that the goal of every technology we invent, every law we pass, and every dollar we save? We're trying to build a world without friction. We're trying to engineer a paradise. But here's the terrifying truth that no one tells you. If you press that button, you wouldn't be entering paradise. You would be entering a very specific kind of hell. Within months, you would feel a creeping, unrecognizable anxiety. Within a year, you would feel a hollowness so profound it would physically hurt. And eventually, to save your own sanity, you might just smash that machine to pieces, just to feel the sharp, stinging pain of a cut on your hand, just to feel something real. Because humans were not designed for paradise. We were designed for the jungle. We were designed to hunt, to hide, to fight, and to overcome. And when you take the struggle away from a creature built for struggle, you don't get a happy creature. You get a broken one. Welcome to the Utopia paradox. In this video, we are going to explore why your brain needs pain to survive, the terrifying history of the mouse universe that ate itself, and how the ancient philosophy of Stoicism might be the only thing that can save us from our own comfort. To understand why a perfect life is dangerous, we first have to look under the hood of your own skull. We need to talk about the most misunderstood chemical in the human body, dopamine. Pop culture tells you that dopamine is the pleasure molecule. You eat a cookie, you get dopamine, you feel good. But that is a lie. Neuroscience tells a different story. Dopamine is not about pleasure. It is about desire. It is about the pursuit. In the wild, 50,000 years ago, dopamine was the fuel that made your ancestors get up and hunt a mammoth when they were starving. It was the chemical of more. It rewarded effort. You felt the high not when you ate the food, but when you saw the food after days of tracking it. The joy was in the gap between the need and the satisfaction. But today, we have closed that gap. You want food? You tap a screen, and it appears. You want entertainment? You scroll. You want a mate? You swipe right. The effort is gone. The friction is gone. And this creates a biological disaster. Your brain works on a system of homeostasis. It constantly tries to find balance. Think of it like a scale. On one side is pain, on the other is pleasure. When you flood your brain with cheap, effortless dopamine, sugar, porn, social media, video games, you tip the scale heavily toward pleasure. But the brain hates this imbalance. So to adapt, it starts pressing down on the pain side to level things out. It downregulates your dopamine receptors. This is why the first bite of cake tastes amazing, but the 10th bite makes you feel sick. This is why a drug addict needs more and more of the drug just to feel normal. Sights up. In a world of unlimited comfort, your baseline for happiness shifts. You become numb to joy and hypersensitive to pain. A minor inconvenience, like slow Wi-Fi or a traffic jam, feels like a catastrophe. This is called the hedonic treadmill. You're running faster and faster, chasing a happiness that is biologically impossible to catch because you have removed the very thing that gives happiness its value, the struggle to get it. But you don't have to take my word for it. We have seen this play out before, not in humans, but in a terrifying experiment that predicted the future of our species with haunting accuracy. Let's travel back to 1968 to a laboratory at the National Institute of Mental Health in Maryland. A scientist named John B. Calhoun decided to play God. He built a world called Universe 25. It was a tank, a massive gleaming enclosure designed to be the perfect utopia for mice. It had unlimited food, unlimited water, perfect climate control, absolutely no predators, no disease. It was clean, spacious, and safe. Calhoun started with 4 pairs of healthy mice. At first, it was paradise. The mice lived in harmony. They bred rapidly. The population doubled every 55 days. They ate, they slept, they groomed. It was the American dream with whiskers. But as the population grew, something strange began to happen. The physical needs of the mice were met, but their social, psychological needs were breaking down. The young mice, who had never known struggle, never had to fight for food or territory, didn't know how to behave. Male mice stopped defending their territory because there was nothing to defend. They became passive, gathering in the center of the pen, waiting to be fed, occasionally attacking each other in meaningless, vicious bursts of violence. The females, abandoned by the males, became aggressive. They started attacking their own young. Mothers would kick their babies out of the nest, or worse, kill them. The social fabric of the mouse society completely disintegrated. But the most chilling group of all emerged in the late stages of the experiment. Calhoun called them the beautiful ones. These were male mice who withdrew from society entirely. They didn't fight. They didn't mate. They didn't interact. All they did was eat, sleep, and groom their fur. Their coats were sleek and perfect. They had no scars, no wounds. They were the healthiest mice in the tank. And they were completely, utterly empty. They had lost the will to live, even though they had everything they needed to survive. Eventually, despite having unlimited resources, the population of Universe 25 crashed. They stopped breeding entirely. They went extinct. They didn't die from starvation. They didn't die from the plague. They died from a lack of struggle. They died of boredom. They died because without a challenge, life had no meaning. Does this sound familiar? Look around you. Look at our modern world. We are building Universe 25. We have young men withdrawing from society, retreating into video games and virtual worlds. Modern-day beautiful ones who refuse to compete in the real world. We have a breakdown of social cohesion. We have rising rates of anxiety and depression in the wealthiest, safest nations on Earth. We are automating our jobs. We are outsourcing our thinking to algorithms. We are trying to cure death itself. We are systematically removing every sharp edge from the world, wrapping humanity in bubble wrap. And we are surprised that we feel empty. We're surprised that we feel a meaning crisis. We interpret our pain as a malfunction. We think, I'm depressed, so something is wrong with my brain chemistry. And sometimes that is true, but often the pain is not a malfunction. It is a signal. Think of the physical sensation of burning your hand on a stove. That pain is useful. It tells you, move your hand or you will be destroyed. Existential pain, boredom, loneliness, lack of purpose is the same thing. It is your soul burning on the stove of comfort. It is your biology screaming at you, move, do something hard, build something, overcome something, or you will decay. Pain is not a bug in the human operating system. Pain is a feature. It is the navigation system that guides us toward growth. So, the next time you feel that ache, that boredom, that quiet desperation on a Sunday afternoon, don't reach for the phone. Don't reach for the snack. Don't press the button. So, what do? We cannot destroy technology. We cannot go back to living in caves and hunting mammoths, nor should we want to. Antibiotics and air conditioning are good things, but we must realize that the steward, the system of comfort we have built, will not save us. It will kill us with kindness. We need an antidote. And that antidote was discovered over 2,000 years ago, not in a lab, but in the minds of the Stoic philosophers. Men like Marcus Aurelius, the emperor of Rome, who could have had any luxury he wanted, yet chose to sleep on the hard floor and campaign with his soldiers. Men like Seneca, the wealthiest man in the empire, who preached the practice of voluntary discomfort. The Stoics understood something that modern psychology is just catching up to. We must choose our pain, or life will choose it for us. Seneca advised his followers to set aside a few days each month to live as if they were poor, to wear coarse clothes, to eat stale bread, to sleep in the cold. Why? Not to punish themselves, but to inoculate themselves, to build an armor against fortune. He said, "He who fears death will never do anything worthy of a man who is alive." This is the concept of anti-fragility. A glass vase is fragile. If you stress it, it breaks. A muscle is anti-fragile. If you stress it, it tears, and then it grows back stronger. The human spirit is a muscle. If you put it in a cast, which is what a comfort-addicted life is, it atrophies. It withers. The solution to the Utopia paradox is to reintroduce good friction into your life. This is why people run marathons. This is why billionaires practice jujitsu. This is why we climb mountains. There's no logical reason to climb a mountain. It is cold, dangerous, and exhausting. You could just fly a helicopter to the top. But the view from the helicopter is not the same as the view from the climb. The helicopter gives you the destination. The climb gives you the transformation. You need to engineer resistance into your day. Take the cold shower, not because it's good for your skin, but because for 2 minutes your brain screams no, and you say yes. You are training the override switch in your brain. Fast for 24 hours, not for weight loss, but to remind yourself that you are the master of your hunger, not its slave. Sit in silence without your phone for 30 minutes. Confront the noise in your head instead of drowning it out. When you voluntarily step into discomfort, you reset your dopamine baseline. You reset the scale. Suddenly, a simple glass of water tastes sweet. A conversation feels meaningful. The sunset looks brighter. By embracing a little bit of pain, you unlock the capacity for a massive amount of joy. The psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi called this state flow. The optimal human experience is not lying on a beach doing nothing. The optimal experience is when you are stretched to your limits in a voluntary effort to accomplish something difficult and worthwhile. We are not human beings. We are human doings. We are defined by action. The fictional dystopias of the future, like Brave New World or The Matrix, are always terrifying because they offer a world where humans are passive consumers of happiness. But true happiness cannot be consumed. It must be created. And creation requires friction. You cannot sculpt a statue without chipping away the stone. You cannot forge a sword without fire and hammer. You are the statue. You are the sword. And life is the hammer. Pain is a feature. Stop trying to fix it. Start using it. But listening to this video is easy. Doing it is hard. So I am leaving you with a challenge. I call it the 7-day Stoic Reset. For the next week, I want you to pick one small, voluntary discomfort every single day. Maybe it's a cold shower. Maybe it's skipping lunch. Maybe it's turning off your phone for 2 hours before bed. Just one thing to remind your brain who is in charge. Come back to this video and in the comments, write down what you did and how it felt. Let's fill the comment section not with opinions, but with proof of action. And if you want to join a community of people who are breaking out of the cage of comfort, hit that subscribe button. We explore the difficult truths here because the easy lies are available everywhere else. See you in the struggle.